Cartier corrected himself when he said Negro problem, and then he changed it to Negro question. He was weighing his words very carefully.
Well, I think implied in Negro problem is a kind of suggestion that I represent a problem.
Sure,
I do not
exactly.
represent a problem.
Precisely.
You follow?
The Negroes are not
I
a
think
problem
if
to us. We're a problem to the Negroes.
We're all
This is
saying
the
the
point.
same thing.
No, we're not. It's not the same thing at all. And this is what I have become aware of.
No, Joe is very correct
I don't think it is
because the person who holds in his hands the power to fulfill the American dream, to fulfill the words of Tom Paine, to fulfill the words of the Declaration of Independence, happens to be a person who is white.
Right.
And he
yes,
sits...
but to imply that it's solely a white problem is to deny the burning interest of every fellow Negro citizen.
It is, however,
gentlemen, I think
that's fair enough. I'll give you that.
The crosstalk is such that what you're saying, which I think everybody wants to hear, is being lost, all of your words of wisdom. But maybe we can end it on this point. How would you phrase yourself, very briefly now, as succinctly as you can put the essence of your thought? What is the nature of this question today? What is the most important thing to be done by each and every one of us? If you had the right to say, I, James Baldwin, will tell people what to do and how to solve this thing, what would you say?
My God.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
In 3 words?
Not in 3 words, no, a single thing. For example, I happen to think, just to give you an idea of what I'm getting at, that the most important thing at the moment now is jobs.
That's quite true. But the nature of the problem, as I see it, is so complex that one can't simply say jobs. One has to say jobs, schools, houses. It's a whole complex of things, you know. Jobs alone won't solve it. Schools alone won't solve it. It's in the social fabric, you know.
It isn't anything, it's everything.
It's everything. And I really think, to come back to Joe's point in another way, and at the risk of sounding mystical, that the first step probably has to be somewhere in the American conscience. I think the American white republic has to ask itself why it was necessary for them to invent the nigger. You know, I am not a nigger. You know, I never called myself one. But one comes into the world, and the world decides that you are this for its own reasons. And it is very important, I think, for the American, in terms of the future, in terms of his health, in terms of the transformation we are all seeking, that he faced this question, that he needed the nigger for something. You know.
May I please be forgiven for interrupting? In fact, we have run out of time, but it's kind of a good point, because what you've ended up with is to say we've all got to face the question. I think what we've done today...
You have just witnessed an unrehearsed discussion by those whose deeply held personal views have committed them to the cause of civil rights. The moderator has been David